Good morning, my friends. I was just watching the Today Show, and they did a story on Jacob Hall, who is the 6-year-old who was killed in the school shooting that happened in South Carolina last week. And one quote from his mother really stood out because over the past year or two, I have seen many Facebook friends of mine, too many in fact, describe the loss of their own child. In this case, through illness, through some accident or whatever. And Jacob was killed violently at the hands of a 14-year-old who decided to shoot up the school playground. But what Jacob's mother said is, hey Jenny, what Jacob's mother said is one of those necessary lessons in life that is very, very hard for people to accept in times of great loss, especially the loss of a child. Because I don't know any parent who entertains the thought of losing their child for any more than a fleeting second. And if they do, it's in the context of, oh my God, I hope I never have to go through that. I hope it never happens. As opposed to, if it does happen, what do I do? It's because things like this, our mind protects us from. It's not really a thought that you want to entertain. Well, in the event that I lose my child, I think this is going to be my plan. I don't know any parent that wants to go through that. I sure as hell don't want to go through that. But what Jacob's mom said is, I don't want to let him go, but I know I have to. And think about that for a little bit. Because I know from a lot of parents that spend so much time slamming their fist on the table saying, this is wrong, it shouldn't happen, I can't go on. And Jacob's mom is saying the opposite. I don't want to let him go, but I know I have to. Just in that statement alone is the realization that life goes on, life must go on, and I must find a way to do so. And having I worked in hospice for 5 years before I went out on my own to start working with the autism and ADHD communities. And there were a couple cases where I had to work with parents who just lost a child. One was a newborn with a very rare chromosomal disorder. The other one was a 4-year-old with a neurological disease. And part of the plan for how they were going to move forward was to help transform their pain into purpose. Now, what do you do with this loss? What meaning do you assign to it so that the only memory you have is not of the pain, but of the what do I do with this story? What do I do with this event in my life? How do I make it purposeful? In many cases, I see parents who allow themselves to grieve deeply and are able to turn that into compassion. So they're able to reach out to other parents who say, I've been there, I've been through it, and I've found the other side of it. It's not an easy path. It requires going through the hurt and allowing yourself to be held up by others until the pain begins to turn into purpose. So I just wanted to, share my thoughts on what this very young mother who's just been through something incredibly terrible and tragic and unfair. I wanted to share what she had to say because little pearls like that for the rest of us can really be utilized to make our lives even more meaningful in the presence of tremendous loss. So thank you for joining in, Jenny, Phoebe, Claire, Paul. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope this little tidbit has been helpful, and I'll be back soon.